Racing games are probably my favorite genre of video games, with classic titles like RC Pro-Am and Super Mario Kart starting my obsession. However, it wasn't until the 5th generation of game consoles that the genre started hitting its stride. With that, here are 5 amazing racing games released between 1995 and 2005 that were not only brilliant back in their day, but still exceptional after all these years.
3, 2, 1, go!
Sega Rally Championship was released for the Sega Saturn in late 1995. Despite its age and the hardware, this one holds up remarkably well and is easily one of the best games available on the Saturn. Sega Rally Championship sticks to its arcade roots. You start in 15th place and must climb to 1st after just 3 rallies. Success is rewarded with a 4th course, and winning that will award a 3rd car. The game is short and simple, but challenging and deep at the same time. Sega Rally's greatness comes from its sublime handling. Your car reacts differently to different road surfaces, and mastering the drift technique on each is vital to success. While not terribly realistic, there is something special about the way your car drifts around the turns, and when you get everything just right, it's magic. Combine that with the awesome music and Sega's arcade presentation, and you have one of the very best early 3D racers. Wipeout 64 was developed by a Sony-owned company, which makes it a bit odd to have even been released on competitors' hardware, especially in 1998. Still, of all the 5th generation Wipeout games, this one is my favorite. Wipeout 64 looks similar enough to its Saturn and PlayStation siblings, but the textures are smoothed out, and overall, this looks like a nice upgrade over the previous titles. While many N64 games look muddy and dull, Wipeout 64 is sharp and colorful. The music also stands out, with a clear electronic and techno-style tracks that sound amazing for a cartridge-based game. The racing action is where this one excels. The futuristic racing formula was perfected in Wipeout 64, and issues with the prior games were ironed out. While touching the wall will still slow you down, it won't ruin your race. The track design is exceptional, and they flow really well from start to finish. Power-ups and speed pads litter each course and are placed in perfect locations. Memorization is key, requiring you to memorize each course and the placement of each speed pad. Controlling your hovercraft has never felt better thanks to the N64's analog stick. Combine the awesome controls with excellent track design, and you have a stunning racing game that is still a blast to play.
Congratulations, first place!
Test Drive Llama was built from the ground up for the Sega Dreamcast and is not a simple port of the PlayStation title of the same name. And my god, is this game good! In the year 2000, this was quite simply the best looking racing game ever released. The car models were good, the racetracks looked realistic, and the weather effects were unmatched. Modern titles have since surpassed it, but it was quite the achievement at the time. There are 2 things that make this game so amazing. The Llama series was at its peak in 1998 and 1999, with awesome race cars from manufacturers like Toyota, BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. These amazing cars are all here and accounted for, and it's an excellent time capsule for a magical time in racing. Second, Test Drive Llama has some of the best controls ever in a racing game. The medium difficulty offers a good mix of simulation and playability, with driving aids like anti-lock brakes, traction control, and automatic shifting. Expert mode turns off all driving aids and offers a wonderful simulation experience. Even without the driving aids, the analog braking, acceleration, steering, along with the manual shifting all work perfectly, and this is one of the few games where I like to play in pure manual mode. In addition to some awesome race cars, most prominent European race tracks are also here, along with the Le Mans circuit itself. Test Drive Llama has no trouble putting a dozen realistically behaving AI opponents on the screen at once, and it all adds up to my favorite racing game of all time. Test Drive Llama is simply stunning and a must-own for all racing fans. Rally Sport Challenge was a first-generation title for the original Xbox, released in early 2002. While most gamers bought an Xbox for Halo, Rally Sport Challenge was the game that made me pull the trigger. Rally Sport Challenge looked absolutely stunning in magazines, and I couldn't wait to finally get my hands on it. And boy, it did not disappoint. Even looking at it now, it's hard to believe this game was released 13 years ago. It's absolutely gorgeous. At the time, the environments looked amazing, the trees had that next-gen-ness to them, and the cars looked photorealistic. Even today, it's no slouch. Not only that, the game still plays brilliantly. The controls here always remind me of the original Sega Rally. The drifting is immensely satisfying, and the analog controls, both steering and accelerating, feel superbly polished. I sank dozens of hours into this game when it came out, mastering each and every turn of each and every course. It's another one of those games that you can just zone out for hours, forgetting the world even exists. It just might be one of the finest rally games ever created. Ridge Racer is a historic game. Until 2005, racing games on handheld systems were always watered-down affairs, and couldn't possibly emulate an experience on par with home consoles. But Ridge Racer on the PlayStation Portable changed everything. There are no compromises here, and Ridge Racer delivers a console-sized racing experience on a little handheld. Ridge Racer is a breathtaking title. The graphics cruise along at 60 frames per second, the sense of speed is outstanding, everything is crisp and sharp, and the lighting effects are jaw-dropping. Seriously, anytime a race takes place at sunset, everything is oozing with orange hues, and it's absolutely beautiful. Not only that, the controls are amazing. The name of the game here is drifting. Drifting more sideways with more speed for greater distances will fill a boost meter that lets you use some nitrous, which is essential to victory as the game goes on. The course design here fits the arcade drifting mechanics perfectly to create one of the most fun racing experiences of all time. There is no other series that can touch the drifting mechanics of the late Ridge Racer games. It's seriously amazing. And all of this on a portable system. Outstanding. Despite being widely different, these 5 games all have the same thing in common. They all have terrific controls with a feel to them that cannot be properly explained. That feel is what elevates great racing games above their peers and gives them their longevity. These 5 games all have it, and all are classics.